Hey guys, welcome back to Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys coming by the channel today to check the video out. Today guys, we're going to be talking about some of the most popular areas on about any lake you go to that are really a waste of your fishing time. It's like I'm going to explain to you guys why these areas get a lot of fishing pressure. There's not many fish on them. People think there's a lot of fish on them. You always see boats on them, and I'm going to tell you guys how to, or basically identify what these places are so you can avoid them and find some more protective spots on the water. So we're going to get into that in the episode today. Also guys, a couple quick things here. Remind you before we get started here, just a quick reminder, anybody interested in booking a private on the water one-on-one lesson with me, just go to my Facebook page, Intuitive Angling with Randy Blaukat. Shoot me a private message for details to get you guys set up with that. And also a quick reminder that guys, we got next week is the end of the sale, the biggest sale of the year on my Solar Bat Series RB2 3s. You can get them at 50% off through the end of July. Then that sale is going to be over. Use the promo code RandyB for free shipping and handling. We got three different lens colors here, styles, a bunch of different, three different frame colors and styles, and a bunch of different lens options, the colors on them. Optical clarity second to none in these Solar Bats. So appreciate you guys checking those out in the link in this video description. Okay, I'm gonna go outside, guys. It's freaking hot in the tackle room here, man. It's like 97 degrees here in Missouri today and about 55% humidity. But let's talk a little bit about some of the areas that are, a lot of people think these are great areas. And every time you go out there, you see people fishing them, but they're really not that good anymore. And I'll explain to you why. There's two primary ones I wanna talk about based upon if you have like some type of a man-made impoundment or more of a riverine impoundment. Now, the first waste of time, in my opinion, and when I say this, guys, don't make it sound like there's never a fish here. What I'm saying is the amount of time that people fish on them versus what you catch it's just not worth your time to go there. If you go down the main lake of any lake, and let's say, for example, there's 5 or 6 creeks, major creeks that dump into this lake. The main lake points going into these major creeks are some of the biggest waste of time that you'll ever fish in bass fishing. And it doesn't really make sense because these should be like natural highway areas. You think of that the bass that are, on the main lake, that they're going to be swimming back into these creeks or swimming out of the creeks, and they're going to stop off at that main lake point going into that creek. It doesn't happen. I have not hardly caught nothing off of those main lake points going into those major creek arms. And I think one of the big reasons is they are so obvious. It's like most every main lake point going into a major creek arm, a lot of them have like, mile markers on it. Everybody sees them. You can't avoid them. It's like it's right on your way in there. And there's always boats sitting on them. But there's just not many fish on them. I don't understand why, but I catch very few fish off of those main lake creek points. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is. It's like, this is not that good to me. And also it seems like the bigger the creek, the more unproductive those points are. So when you're talking about fishing points, and we talk about fishing points a lot here on Intuitive Angling, I always suggest fishing inobvious type points, whether they be main lake or secondary points. And what I mean by inobvious points, I'm talking about points that aren't real defined. A lot of people think a point is something just that, like a point, a perfect point. But some of the better points that you're going to fish are the subtle rounded points that don't really look like points. They just look like rounded places in a bank. Those are some really good points, especially, if you've got, some type of a drop out off of them a little bit. So try to gravitate towards those more inobvious points. And that's sort of like the gist of bass fishing in 2026 is you have to gravitate towards those areas that are just less obvious because everybody fishes all the obvious places. Another place that you need to avoid that used to be really, really good in bass fishing is any type of a creek channel or ditch intersection. Now, these used to be gold mines. Back before GPS came along, if you were good enough to find these places, like with a map and triangulation, like the TVA lakes, if you could find like a creek channel where it dumped into the main river, or like a ditch that led to the main river channel, and you get on the drops and those little underwater points out there, they were loaded with big schools of bass. But GPS was a death blow to those areas. Once those areas, became easy to find on GPS mapping, they got ruined. They literally got ruined, and it's almost impossible to catch fish off them anymore. Those hard structure breaks on especially the river lakes, but even not just river lakes, even like a man-made impoundment. Like for example, before GPS came out, guys, I could like catch a bunch of big fish, fishing like, you know, ledges and drops on Grand Lake in Oklahoma before anyone really knew how to do that. But once GPS come along, all those places that took me decades to find and learn with a flasher and paper map, they got ruined in a matter of 5 years. So GPS has ruined a lot of offshore structure fishing for, you know, for most anglers across the country. And the other areas, guys, are the ones that are just any type of obvious, easily accessible structure. It could be like a nice looking riprap bank. It could be, you know, just, you know, a nice boat dock or something like that, or a nice row of boat docks. The obvious structures in fishing are simply a lot of times not worth, you know, your time and effort. I'm not saying the fish don't live on them and that you can't catch fish on them, but they're just not that good. It's like the best places you're going to find today, aside from chasing fish out in the middle of the lake, you know, chasing shad, are going to be the inobvious areas. Like instead of a row of 20 boat docks, a bank that's got one dock on it. Instead of a bank that's got 25 nice lay down trees on it that looks really good, you know, a nothing looking flat bank that has one log on it or something. Those are the type of places you sort of have to gravitate to that are high percentage now. But the main thing, guys, is when you're fishing, it's like a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to worry about the fish and not worry about the fishermen. That's not true, guys. You have got to worry about the fishermen, because you got to pay attention to where the people are fishing at, because fish react to that. Fish get conditioned to fishing pressure. They get wary. They get very finicky. So try to avoid those areas that are obvious, that get a lot of pressure, that are easily accessible. And if you sort of just focus your efforts on those more hard to find areas, you know, a little bit off the beaten path, it's going to help you guys catch a lot more bass. So anyway, I hope it helps out.